Hello, everybody. Laura back again. Sorry, I'm almost an hour later than I was supposed to be, but um, life in the house got in the way, and I'm just going to leave it at that. We did, however, get our new used couch today, and that is in the living room. So, not that I had anything to do with moving it. I I can hardly stand on my own 2 feet, let alone trying to move a couch. But it was delivered, so that was a good thing. I got that huge mess of yarn undone, untangled. Hi, cool gamer. Sorry I'm late. Thanks for being here, though. I got that huge mess of yarn untangled and into a ball, so that was a big step for me. So I got that done. I don't even have any of my lights on because, except the overhead, because I realized, oh my gosh, I missed my live. How could I have done that to myself? Well, forgot to put it in my phone when it had to be reset. And thus, even though I knew it was Tuesday, by the time I was into all the cleaning and sorting and everything that needed to be done, I lost track of time. How are you, cool gamer? What you got going on? Well, it's going to be short if I just sit here and talk to myself, but that's all right. Let's see. I'll edit this real quick. Save and show. There we go. Well, I hope I got a thumbs up, cool gamer. Like I said, sorry I'm almost an hour late. I showed this. What did I not show the other day? Okay, well, I knew this wasn't going to be. But hey, somebody else was coming on. I noticed just before my time slot today anyway. So maybe I was supposed to be an hour late. You never know. Maybe I'll shift it. But right now, all I can do is try to stay open. Oh, I meant to say, because I almost never show it up there, but that's the quilt that I'm gonna get down and do a video about. So that just so you know, I mean, I keep saying I'm going to and keep forgetting about it. That's that's the way it is with my memory though. My memory and everything else. Which is why my phone is my second brain. And I can't believe that after I had to have my phone reset, that I forgot to set that important alarm. Well, okay, my med alarms are more important, but still, that's an important alarm for me. So I'm just going to see if anybody else shows up. Because, like I said, I know it's an hour later than normal. And I know that I am at this point still, I believe, 6 hours ahead of the UK. So it's about 9:30 over there. And I know that because I do mine during the day, that there are certain people that cannot watch. They have to watch later. And I can't believe I messed up and lost track of time while I was sorting and cleaning. which I am done for the day, but it wasn't what I wanted to work on. It was something that needed to be done, but it wasn't what I had planned to work on today. Well, let's get that off the screen. Don't need that. Ah, that would be cool. I wonder if I could. Yeah, probably could. I just need to look for it. Okay, so this is going to be a laid back, kind of boring live since I'm an hour later, almost an hour later than I should have been. Well, I am an hour later now. I'm so sorry, everybody, that I messed up. Maybe somebody will find me just scrolling through YouTube, right? That's how I find some. And I go in and I do unicorn raids. I know I probably shouldn't call them that, but I couldn't come up with something else. It's not really a unicorn stampede when it's just me. It's not really a unicorn raid, but unicorn raid fit better than anything else that I could come up with. So it's just a single unicorn, just me. It's a unicorn raid. Yeah, that's what I decided to call it, even though I know a raid is when a group jumps from one person's live to another. But you know what? That's okay. I'm still a group, even if I am one. I'm still a group. And some of these people don't know my channel either, and I just jump in and I say hi and start talking, and they're like, "Laura's Yarn Talk. What do you talk about?" Well, obviously, I talk about yarn, different kinds of things that can be done with yarn, and different ways to manipulate yarn. Okay, well, I haven't touched on too many of them yet, but I have done a lot of different things with yarn in my lifetime, so. And I need to get back to a couple of things like that quilt that I need to finish that quilt, but it's not going to be done by Thanksgiving, so maybe I can get more work done on it after Thanksgiving. Hi, Clayton Boyer. I am working on this is the backside. I'm working on a giant granny square right now, and so it's going to be a cocoon cardigan when it's done. When it's big enough. And I've almost finished my first giant cake of cloud cake yarn. Anyway, thanks for coming in, Clayton. So what do you do, Clayton? I don't know if I don't know that I know your name, but I appreciate you showing up and I'd love to get a thumbs up. Do you crochet? Do you use yarn? Or are you one of the many other people that I have started finding through YouTube? Thank you. I really love the teal and the burgundy colors. The teal and the burgundy, and the pink's pretty too. I'm not too keen on the orange and the brown, but that's okay. I don't have to look at it. Well, except right in here once I get the arms done. I actually do crochet. You do? Awesome. I was looking for live streams. I'm making a sweater at the moment. Very good. I do that too. I was just saying that I go around and I do unicorn raids. Just a single unicorn, me, but I couldn't come up with a better word than raid, so that's what I call it. I just go around, doesn't matter if I know them or not. If there's a live stream, I jump in and start talking, said, tell them unicorn raid. So that's awesome. Thank you for giving me a try. I'm not doing much today. I'm actually an hour behind. I should have been on at 2:30, but I was working. I was cleaning up and sorting through stuff and lost track of time. And yeah, thank you. A raid is when you're going from one person's, a group goes from one person's live to another, and that so they call it a raid to the next live. And so I'm like, works for me. It's not a unicorn stampede because it's only me. But yeah, I call it a unicorn raid. And a couple of people have gotten a little upset about the fact that I'm using raid wrong. But I'm like, you know what? My unicorn raid's going to trample all over you. So there. No, no, no. I try to behave myself. So what kind of a sweater are you working on? Sleeves and one piece, two piece, three piece, and then sleeves. That's what people on Twitch call it. Raid works. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That was what that's what I decided. Raid works, and it's just me. So, and I'm just trying to get my mascot out there. So, they see Unicorn Raid, they're like, "Oh, it's Laura's Yarn Talk." That's what I'm after. So yeah. And if it offends somebody, I'm sorry, but that's makes more sense to call it a Unicorn Raid when it's just me. I've never made a sweater before, so I just found a random pattern I'm following. Haha, it's in pieces and sewn together. Just started the back piece. Oh, I completely forgot about. I actually did a vest, so it doesn't have sleeves, but it's the first time I'd ever, with crochet, ever um, done the steps involved to make an armhole. Although, did I do that with knitting? I think I had done that with knitting before. But yeah, I had to do the front piece, the two front pieces, and then the back piece. And like I said, that's the first time I'd ever done. I learned how to do the steps to make that armhole. So, and it turned out really well. If you don't mind me getting it, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Didn't take me long, did it? So here is what I'm talking about, the steps for the sleeve. It's not that bad. It really wasn't that bad, but it definitely was something I'd never done before to get the size right for the armhole. And then let's see, the front, which I had to do uh, the collar on. And then I had to do the lapel all the way down. It's very long. Just to give you an idea. It's very long. I'm very tall, so I needed something long. And I did the variegated purple shades and then the dark purple. And I don't know if you could see that so much. If I get it closer, maybe I can. There we go. See, there's the variegated. It's like two shades or three shades of lighter purple, and then there's the dark purple. And that is the design, is the squares with two double crochets between each square, each hole. I can't think of the right word. Let's see. Cute. I've never done any project two of this size yet. Yeah. This was something I really had wanted to do, and I spent extra money on it, and it's all mercerized cotton. So I spent extra money on it. It's too big for me now. I made it when I was a lot larger, but I still can wear it. It's just a little bit big on me, but I can still wear it. Let's see. Oh, what did I do recently? Oh, I was working. Nope, I left that in the other room. Didn't I? Yes, I did. Here I'm doing a blanket. This is the untwisted rectangular moss stitch blanket. This one's going to be in mostly greens and blues, but it's got some other colors in there too. Brown, black, gold, pink, purple, teal, red. Just I throw them in just to have a little extra besides the blues and greens. I can't show you my pink and purple one because it's on my bed. I'm working on my Adelia shawl again that my group did over this summer. I ended up making mine too small. Well, I should say with too small of a yarn. So I'm going to have a real heirloom piece here, Clayton. This is my Adelia shawl with all the pinks and purples and teals and blues and blacks and yellows and greens in there. And all the extra work I'm putting into it because I'm making it bigger than the pattern, because mine only ended up 17.5 inches. And I made it out of sock yarn. And it never said in the pattern anywhere that I had to double my yarn. So I figured I was fine. Turned out I wasn't. I learned a lesson. You're in Texas and it's cold. The cold is approaching. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a good reason to get it done, isn't it? Because I know the cold is approaching here too. I'm in Iowa, Clayton. Before I go any further, I want to remember to say thank you for being here. If you're watching live, thank you for watching the replay. If that's how you're watching, I appreciate you all. Any way, shape, or form, please don't forget the thumbs up. Okay, that's my spiel. Yeah, I hope you get it done in time too. I might get this thing done by next spring, and that'd be the perfect time to use it. So I'm just going to keep working on it a little bit at a time and playing with the math and getting because it is a half circle instead of a triangle. This is one of the reasons I wanted to do it. But I'll get it done. It's taking me a while, and it's gonna take me a more while to get it finished. I'm one of those people that has to have way too many things going at once. And it does make it hard for me to get things finished, but I still do eventually. So those 3 things I'm got working on that. There's other little things, but those are the 3 main things that I'm working on right now. Whew. I need another drink. Wow. I've been trying to crochet in between work and school, so fingers crossed it gets done. Work and school. So okay, I don't want to ask that. How old are you? My goodness. Work and school and learning how to crochet a sweater at the same time? By no means do you have to answer just because I asked, okay? My husband tried to learn to crochet a few years back, and at that point I didn't think I'd ever be able to teach anybody. You're only 19. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, I hope you get that sweater done. Yes, you better stick to one project at a time with your circumstances you're in. Yes, you better. Okay. What was I saying? I don't remember. Oh, at the time I didn't think I'd be much of a teacher, and I was like, I tried to show him. It just didn't work. It wasn't like he could sit in my lap and have me show him how to do it. So I was like, just go look. I showed him, and then he learned, he did the chains, and I'm like, okay, redo it, do it again. You gotta get your chains a little bit tighter because they were way just huge. Anyway. And then I said after a while, I'm like, okay, go look online, go see what you can find, because I knew I wasn't doing a very good job of it. And and then what do? I start a YouTube channel in 2021, and I did a whole thing on stitches and the beginning stitches, all the begin. Let's start crocheting, I think is what I called it. And very few people have looked at that, but it's there. It's there, and it shows my hands, and it shows my hook. And if I can do what I'm hoping, if I can help facilitate what I'm hoping will happen, one of my kids, I'm hoping, will pick it up. My friends have never gotten into crochet despite my efforts. I know. I That's what I love about YouTube, honestly. Um, I have a girlfriend here in my home city. She's actually my best friend here in my home city, and she and I both knit and crochet. So that was really nice because we would get together once a week when we were both not working, and that changed more than once. And but I never found, I mean, besides her, I never found really anybody else that liked to crochet or knew how to crochet or wanted to learn how to crochet. I taught my daughter how to knit, and she still knits, and she now has a knitting machine. So, and I have a knitting machine. I still knit here and there. I just don't do big things anymore. I want to do socks, and I want to do hats on my knitting machine and scarves on my knitting machine, and I want to do socks by hand, and I'm doing a cowl right now. But yeah, I'm hoping that one of my two, or even both of them, might pick up crochet. It's part of why I made my channel in the first place. But wow, 19, and that's awesome, Clayton. I'm proud of you. You're bucking the stereotype. Good for you. And but you can always tell them, don't forget. I'll talk about that in just a second. Don't forget that men were the crafters in the old days. I mean, old. We're talking a century ago, or, well, no, even more than that. But the men were the crafters. They were the ones that they were the painters. They were the knitters. They were the crocheters. They were the weavers. They they were the weaving was looms. Yes, Laura. Okay. Um, it didn't become more of the woman's thing to do until maybe somewhere in the 1800s, maybe before that. For the richer people, I mean, the women would sit around doing embroidery. The rich women would sit around doing embroidery. Um, and other things. So, maybe the 1600s, 1700s, somewhere in there. But before that, it used to be the guys. It used to be the men. Okay, now you tried knitting socks on 9-inch needles. So you're talking about double pointed, skinny little things. Oh boy, do I know how hard that is, but I've done it. What I did was I was knitting hats with the double pointed needles, big ones, big, thick, like a 10 or 11, I think, or even maybe, yeah, that sounds 10, 10 and a half, 11, somewhere in there. Big around. Okay. and about 9 inches to 11 inches, somewhere in there. But that's how I got the hang of it. I did it on the big ones, and then I scaled myself down. But I've had to think of it like a puzzle. Okay, if I'm using 2 and I need to get that third one in there, I got to divide my stitches up. Or if I'm going from 4, because if you have 5, you can only knit with 4. Well, you can only have 4 in use with live stitches, and then you're using the other one to do those stitches and keep going around, round and round. And that's one of the things that I love about double pointed needles is, oh, you're talking 9-inch needles. You might have tried it with the circular needles. I haven't done it that way. Sorry, I didn't think about that at first. But yes, you're right. Crochet is fun and it keeps you busy. And there are plenty of us on this planet that need to keep our hands busy for whatever reason. Anxiety or PTSD or nervousness, or I know there's something else I was thinking about, but I can't bring the word out of my head. 9-inch circulars were a nightmare. Okay, see, I never did them on circulars. I know that that's available. Hi, Joni. Yeah, kind of was working through my regular time at 2:30, so I came on about 3:25. Just thought I would see, if anybody was out there can find me, because I didn't mean to blow it, but I was working on sorting stuff. We got a new used couch delivered today, so there was some stuff that had to be taken care of, and I lost track of time. So that's why I'm late. But that's okay, because I was like, I'm just going to go upstairs and do it. If people show up, they show up. If they don't, I'll talk to myself or crochet for a while. That'd be a little boring, but So Clayton and I have been discussing things, and Clayton, if you know how to knit, especially if you know how to knit in the round, there's so much you can do. I knit a sweater, a pullover, short sleeve cotton summer sweater. Yep, it happens. That's right. That's a good one, Joni. Uh, but if you know how to knit in a circle, then there's still so much you can do, even if you don't do pearls very well. The cowl I'm working on only has one purl row, like every, let's see, it's 4 through 13 if I remember correctly. You keep repeating rows 4 through 13, and only one of those rows is pearl. Of course, you go all the way around, but it's there's still things you can do. But I understand that you're probably not going to knit socks on 9-inch circulars. I don't know where my bag is, but I've got the little teeny tiny ones. I've got 2s and 1s, 3s and 2s and 1s, and 0, and I can't remember if it's 0 and then 0, 0 and 0, 0, 0, something like that. Anyway, I've got some sock yarn, fine yarn knitting needles that are so small. I mean, it's almost like safety pin size. So how's it going, Joni? I love some of the stuff that you do. Joni's Not So Fast Life. Of course, I've loved the name since I met you, since you first popped up. I don't know if I had subscribed to you before you found me or vice versa, but yeah, those are really small knitting needles. Exactly. I also tried the magic loop method. I read that and I'm like, nope, there's no way. And I'm a puzzle person. There was no way. Exactly. That's exactly playing Twister. Exactly. Nope. Double pointing needles for me all the way. If I'm going to knit small things, I've been working on teeny oak leaves. Oh my gosh. I bet they're gorgeous. I bought some really nice, thin, pink, soft I'm sure it's cotton thread, but not sure, but we found each other. So yeah, exactly. And I'm not gonna remember. Laugh out loud. I think I met you through Colleen. Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think it was through Colleen. It was either, yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure it was through Colleen, but I couldn't remember the rest of it. So anyway, my memory is so bad. Teeny oak leaves. But yes, Clayton, exactly. I read through it and I'm like, there's no way I'm doing it that way. I was willing to try, but after reading through it, I'm like, nope, I'll just stick to my double pointed needles. Thank you very much. I know how to use them. I know how to keep my stitches tight. I mean, don't get me wrong. The first two pairs of socks I made with double pointed needles, I had the funny row up the side where every single junction point where my needles crossed, I would have a funny row of slightly bigger stitches. So, it just takes time. It takes practice. The only way I'm going to get it is to do it. I really need to start another pair of socks. The ladders. Exactly. That's the word. Yep. The funny shaped ladder up the side of the sock. Yep. But I got the hang of that. It took time, but I got it. I mean, and that's part of any craft is you got to practice, 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 practice. I told my kids that with their musical instruments, practice, practice, practice. What am I going to tell a new crocheter? Practice, practice, practice. Yes, I think I did that in my 21 crochet questions. Practice, practice, practice. Oh. Hi, Michelle Crochets in Kansas. Thank you for coming. Maybe I'll change the time of my live. No, I better not do that. It was a mistake. I completely forgot it was Tuesday and had some stuff I needed to sort through and go through and throw away and clean up a corner of the living room where the new used sofa. Hi, Yarnworks by Lydia Nannon. Oh, I remember you. Um, I played piano for 7 years and viola for 10. I know lots about practice. There you go, Clayton. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Ha ha. That's the line I was always told. Yep, exactly. Practice. Hello, everyone. There she is. Lydia, thank you for coming. I bet you do, Clayton. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I bet you do. My second child took the violin and somehow got in a bow and took the violin when moved away. So I think that stitch is too big. Try that again. I am crocheting on my big, I'll show it to you in a second, my big giant granny square for my cocoon. I'm almost done with the first ball. I don't know what I'm going to do next because it's still not big enough for me. So I was told to go about 52-inch square, and I'm nowhere near I'm nowhere near that. Last time I looked, I was about 26 and a half. So I'm here late. Oh yes, thank you. I love the colors too. These three are my favorite right here. The orange, not so much. And this color it's an interesting brown. It almost has a purple tinge to it. And I thought, well, it'll be on my back, so I won't have to see the orange. But I do. I love the colors together. I'm just the big patch of orange in the middle but that's okay. I bought it because it was one of the colors that they had for the cloud cakes last year. This year I got myself the purple cloud cake, and I'm hoping that I have enough for another kind of sweater besides the cocoon. This one's going to be the cocoon. But I've got another thing of, oh, you can't see it. I got another thing of the same one right here. Whoop. And then I got the 2 burgundy, and then I got some teal in the back and some gray and a gray teal green mix. Hi, Patty Barker. Wow, thanks for coming. Looks good together. Yes. Ow, ow, ow. Come on, fingers. Stop it. This was my big messy yarn ball I showed in my Sunday fun with Colleen the other 2 days ago. Oh, nope. Okay. It's all right. So, Patty, do you crochet? I think I remember seeing your name before. And Lydia, I'm pretty sure I've talked to you about it as well, but you have to forgive me. My memory isn't as good as it used to be. Excuse me. Hmm. Well, it's Tuesday afternoon, and even though I got on an hour late, I think this has been a very good half an hour or so. I'm not saying I'm leaving, I'm just saying. I may actually move my time. Janet works up very nicely. Oh, big twist from Joanne's. It works up very nicely. Okay. I crochet and knit and knitting loom. Okay. I thought I remembered that about you, Lydia. Patty, you crochet, sew, and embroidery. I do all of those as well. Knit, crochet, sew, cross stitch. I have done some embroidery. Um, count and cross stitch, cross stitch. Those are the same thing. Oh, come on, Laura. Plastic canvas. I've done that. Oh, sorry. I'm thinking of something else that I've done in the past and I can't. The latch hook. Yes, needlepoint. I've done that too. Latch hook. I did a latch hook a couple of latch hook pillows, and I still have a tree skirt I need to get finished. But I got to take the whole thing apart or throw it away because somehow I did my hooking on the wrong because of the weave, and so I was having all sorts of problems. And I got it about half done too, but oh well. Needlepoint. I haven't done a lot of needlepoint. My mom did more needlepoint than I have, but I like it too. I got really into count and cross stitch in college before I learned how to crochet. And I taught myself how to knit in 2010. But crochet is my favorite. Latch hook is fun. Cross stitch is way too slow for my liking. I can't get in a flow. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I can knit some, but so slow, so I gave it up. Oh yes, plastic canvas, ink drawings on glass. Ooh, that sounds like fun. Needlepoint, too many hobbies, not enough time. No kidding. No kidding. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with my material because I have to finish the quilt for my daughter. I have to finish the quilt for my second child, and I was going to make one for myself, but probably won't get to that now. Okay, I think I got that corner. I also do plastic canvas as well. Yep. Right there with you, Patty. Not enough time. Exactly. I stopped crocheting while I raised my kids. I did some, but not enough. I started a blanket when I was pregnant with my second child. It's down here in a bucket. I'm still working on it when I'm in the mood to, which isn't very often because I did granny squares because that's what I knew how to do. And yeah, I want to get it done though. I've got loads and loads and loads of plastic canvas and magazines. I mean, my channel name is Yarnworks. I suppose I could share all that too, huh? But yeah, crocheting is my favorite and I love yarn. I did a quilt in high school, little baby quilt, and we tied it. So I had to put it on a mini frame and then tie across. I consider myself a MacGyver of crafts, haha, but I prefer textiles mostly. Okay. Ribbon, fabric, yarn, all shapes and sizes. Yep, I hear you. I hear you. I've been wanting to work with small yarns for several years and hadn't gotten around to it. Trying to finish up some other stuff, and that blanket I did for my daughter. There's this, I don't remember the title of it, but there is a video that I did about that blanket when I finished for her and gave to her when she graduated with her PhD in May. Yes, I'm very proud of her. Makes everything I went through and going to college myself and makes all of it worthwhile. From thread to rope, I'm not prejudiced. I love them all. Oh, what about macrame? I tried macrame. I just couldn't get the hang of it. Of course, I was in junior high at the time. I stitched faster than my brain can comprehend and missed a stitch 8 rows down. Time to tear it out. Don't you hate that? I also do knots blankets. Knots blankets? Where you cut them and then tie them together? Is that what you mean, Lydia? Because I did a couple of the, well, I did at least one. Yeah, I had to do that last night. Well, I almost had to do that last night on the thing I'm knitting. Somehow when I was going around, I had dropped a stitch, and by the time I found it and grabbed hold of it and tried to pull it up and bring it to where it should be, it had gone down lower than I thought. So then I come back around to do the next lace pattern, and there's not enough stitches. I'm missing a stitch. And so I look down and I'm like, oh no. So I took out the lace pattern because I didn't need that unraveling on me. So I took out the lace pattern and went back to that section and then went through until I found it with my needles and a hook. Crochet hooks come in handy when you're knitting. And I finally got it worked up to the point where I needed it. And so that I had my knot blankets. That is, so you do them out of fleece or do you do them out of other things? Because that's what I did, was I made mine with fleece. Yes, did that too. Also macrame. Outside chairs, frames were perfect. The fake weave. Oh, yes. I know. I know what you mean. The fake weave stuff we had rotted too. That was years ago. My parents' chairs. I know we should always count our stitches, but that's too much work. And I count my stitches 2, 3, 4 times. But I know exactly what you mean. Um, you could always just add one, Clayton, unless you really, really, really need it to be, because that 8 rows, that's a lot of work. Crochet is easy to fix unless it's a major design issue, like you're doing squares or lace or whatever. But yeah, I'm sorry, Clayton. Nice, Patty. Yeah, I never did. I just tried to do macrame, like hang wall hangings, but I never really got into it too much. Of course, I didn't even get into knitting. I loved my knitting loom that I had. Hi, Kivia. Oh my goodness. I made baskets, but with wrist issues, not as much lately. Yeah, I know that. Only it's my fingers. Oh, very good. We are a talented bunch, creative bunch. How's that? That's awesome, everybody. So let's see. I might just use a scrap piece and try to get rid of the gap. Oh, so it made a gap. I'm sorry. Yeah. Like I said, crochet, this is crochet. Crochet is way easier to um it's a sweater, I forgot. Yeah, do what you need to, Clayton. Sometimes you just have to take it out. I know. I was lucky last night that I managed to get it to work. I have a slightly oversized knit stitch in that spot, and I can't figure out why because the back side of it looks right. It looks like all the other ones, but for some reason that knit stitch on the front side is bigger than the rest of them. And I'm just like, you know what? I know my daughter knits and I know she'll see it, but I'm just like, I fixed it. I have the right number of stitches. It's time to move on. And I am a perfectionist. So for me to be able to say that and not rip out 5 rows, yeah. Crochet is forgiving if only one stitch, unless it's stitch definition. Yes. Yes, that's part of what I meant. Yes. And knitting is not so forgiving because it's obvious whether you're going up the row or across the row. Okay, I said that wrong. Anyway, oh, excuse me. Oh, okay. I don't need to worry about that, but I do need to turn my phone back on so that when my hubby calls me, I can pick it up because I don't want to miss that call. I didn't want to. I should have put all of my alarms back in when my phone had to be reset, but it was so I picked up my phone that night and I tried to get in it. And I've always had just the little dot pattern, right? Drawing. And I picked it up and it wanted me to put in a password to get into my phone. I said, I've never had a password for my phone. I've always had my dot drawing. We could not get into my phone. We don't know what happened to my phone. Luckily, I had downloaded or I had backed everything up Google Photos wise and video wise. I had moved everything over to my computer, but it was really, we were kind of like, well, somebody must have hacked your phone, because I have no clue what happened. If I got into the settings somehow when I was asleep and set it to password, I would not have had a clue. So we had to reset my phone. I lost a lot of stuff, but I didn't lose as much as I would have lost or have lost in the past. Well, thank you everybody for showing up, being here with me an hour after I should have gone on. I really, really appreciate everybody stopping in. That's just awesome. It makes me feel so good. And my YouTube friends and family, and a new person that I hadn't seen before, Clayton, and that's awesome, Clayton. Please, please go look at my other videos and see if I'm worth following. I would appreciate that. So it's been about a little bit more than 45 minutes now, and I almost never go on this long by myself. So thank you, Clayton. Thank you all for showing up. Thank you for the thumbs up, the subscribing, the support. If you haven't noticed, Tuesday Yarn Talk with Laura, and my email is laurasyarntalk@gmail.com. There is no apostrophe, and the S is part of I mean, it's all smushed together anyway for an email address, but there is no apostrophe. The S stands for more than just my name or my ownership per se. It also stands for, the S stands for my last name as well. What hooks do I prefer? Okay. I'm a boy hook person, so I like the rounded tips. I guess that's a shorter throat than an inline. I don't like inlines. This one is part of my Coopay, COOPAY, if I remember correctly. I got a whole bunch, a whole set of them. Like, I don't even remember how many. So it's got the clay on it, and so far I haven't had any problems with them. I like it because my fingers don't have to touch the metal, especially when they're cold. My absolute favorite hook, though, is the purple handle hook from Dollar Tree. It's aluminum up at the top and it's purple down below. And if I have it in here, I don't think I do. I think it's in the other room. But I will look real quick and see if it's in here. I think it's in the other room in my other bag, because I've got like 4 different projects I'm using that hook for. So, and this was not one I needed to work on at that moment. So I can't show you that one though, but boy, all the way for me, Susan Bates have had such a thin and sharp hook. I know they split every yarn I've worked with. Much love, Laura. Thanks for keeping me company. Got a handful of leaves finished. Oh, good job, Joni. Thank you. Yes, everybody, I am wrapping this up. But yeah, I'm a boy hook person. That's what my grandmother taught me on. I think I still have the original one she gave me. I'm not sure anymore. I've shared with a couple of friends, since it was too hard for me to use the all metal hooks anymore. It's really, I want to try some of those ergonomic ones, because I think that might help my hand problems that I get, but from crocheting, not from the diabetes. That's a totally different subject. But Thank you, Joni, for keeping me company. It was great having you all here. It really helped the time fly. Now it's 20 after 4. I need to get off and appreciate all of you. I really do. I really do. Be safe. Love you all. Bye-bye. Where'd my mouse go? Gotta find the button.